What's up, fam? And welcome to the Healthy, Fit, and Pain-Free podcast. This is episode 32. Merry Christmas to you all. Happy holidays. So excited to be here and wish you guys a safe and yet awesome holiday. So, episode 32, we are going to talk about how to not let your health go to shh around the holidays, part 3. So, this is part 3. If you haven't checked out part 1 and 2, that's episode 30 and 31. Part 1, we talk about 5 ways to get in your activity around the holiday. Part 2, we talk about 4 ways for stress-free eating around the holidays. And part 3, which is today, is going to be 3 tips to a stress-free holiday. Now, I know for some of you that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but there are ways out there, and we are going to cover them today. So, if you're new to the Healthy, Fit, and Pain-Free podcast, we are here. I am Doc Tyler. I am a doctor of physical therapy. I am also a strength conditioning coach and co-owner of Inner Strength Physio, Fitness, and Athletics here in Pittsburgh, PA. Also, sometimes with me on the show is my business partner, Ryan, who is also a strength conditioning coach and the other co-owner of Inner Strength Physio, Fitness, and Athletics. So, the Healthy, Fit, and Pain-Free podcast is a podcast that we help you with finding easy, implementable, and no BS ways to improve your health, maximize your life, and get back to doing the things you love with the people you love. So, let's get started, shall we? All right. 3 tips to a stress-free holiday. Now, again, I know this kind of sounds, everybody has their own thing around the holidays. We have so much going on. This includes, all the presents that you have to buy, and then you got to wrap them. If you're getting things shipped to you, if they're actually going to get there, especially the way this year's been. If you're hosting the holidays, cooking the dinner, baking the cookies, baking all the goods. With COVID going on, there's a lot around that as well. Are you going to see your family? Are you not going to see your family? Is everyone going to be safe? Is everyone going to travel safe? Work, all the things that revolve around that. If you have kids, trying to get them ready. If you have, older parents, trying to get them ready. There's so much that surrounds us. I don't have to go too far into this. But there are ways that we can, help to manage that stress a little bit. Now, unfortunately, we can't wave a wand to make it go away altogether, but we can definitely find tactics and hacks, if you will, although I hate that word, to really help us. So, 3 tips here. Number 1, stay active. Now, I know there's a lot of you at home right now rolling your eyes, or if you're driving, whatever, rolling your eyes saying, of course, a strength conditioning coach and someone who, owns a quote-unquote gym is going to tell me to stay active. Nah, it's not quite what you think. The reason being I say stay active is there is so much research out there that shows how activity, exercise, whatever you want to call it, is so good for our physical health, obviously, our mental health, but also finding that time, there's blood markers, there's, losing body fat, getting stronger, all that jazz. But there's so much more to it. For one, staying active, giving yourself that hour, half hour to an hour out of the day where it is just you. It's just time with you and your thoughts, whether they're good thoughts or bad thoughts. But time for you to just, reflect on everything going on, realize what true physical and possibly mental stress feels like. Granted, I'm not taking away from anyone's stress out there, but we live in an age now where sometimes the biggest stressor in our life is our Wi-Fi quit working. And to actually get out there to do some activity to where you're sweating, you can feel your muscles working, your heart rate's up, your breathing's up, and you really get to feel what that stress feels like. And then when you go to do things afterwards, they don't seem as bad. But again, this is also a way to separate yourself. And that's kind of going to be the basis of the 3 tips today is learning to separate yourself from what's going on. Taking that time out of the day to, again, emotionally just decompress, to, get away from the things that are stressing you out, because there's a lot going on right now, again, with the pandemic still trudging away and everyone else feeling excessive stress from the holiday. People get emotional, people get reactive, and then when that reaction goes with your reaction, there's a catalyst, and then boom, and it's never typically good for anybody. So getting away from the people in your life who might be stressing you out, is really good, just, for your thoughts, for your health. And you can do that in many ways. You can go for a walk. You can go for a run. If you go to a gym somewhere, or go to a fitness facility, a spa, Inner Strength, just saying, good ways for you to at least just separate yourself and have some me time. And this could even be going for a bike ride, although right now it's a little chilly out there to do that. But just anything, any way that you can be active right now. It could even be yoga. If you're someone, I know for me right now, recovery is a very hard thing with all the things going on. Even doing yoga, doing some mobility work, listening to some peaceful music can be great ways to just kind of separate yourself a little bit. And again, I recommend at least a half hour. If you can't find a half hour to an hour in your day to get your workout in, you really need to sit down and look at where you're spending all your time. And I know many of you out there are going to sit there and say, well, you don't understand my life. You're right. That's true. However, you also understand my life and the things I am going through. And many could argue that I shouldn't be able to get a workout in either. Again, I'm not saying that to put myself on a pedestal. I'm saying that because I have been through many time management things, courses, reads, stuff like that. And there's always a way to figure out if you just put your mind to it. So, all right. So tip number 1, stay active around the holidays. And again, if you want to learn a little bit more about how to stay active, listen to part 1, episode 30, where I talk about 5 ways to get in activity around the holidays. Okay. Tip number 2, do a daily brain dump. Now, it's not the dump you're thinking of. At least hope not. So when I talk about a brain dump, I'm really referring to meditation, but in a different way. If you're like me, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, meditation does not go over well. Okay. I'm a very active person. I like stress. Stress keeps me going. Stress keeps me fired up. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me moving forward. And so sitting down for 5, 10, 20 minutes, closing my eyes and breathing leads me to fall asleep. Or leads me to think more about stuff I have going on, and relaxation doesn't really happen. So I then recommend doing some sort of like a brain dump, in the sense of you sit down every morning when you wake up, and this brain dump consists of 3 things. Number 1, breathe. When you wake up, sit down and take 2 to 3 minutes and just breathe. In through your nose, out through your nose. Now, I say out through your nose because a lot of times people breathe out through their mouth, and typically your exhale should be longer than your inhale for you to relax. And if you just breathe out your mouth, people just, and then, then it's gone. So breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Do that for like 3 minutes to just, to start off, relax. Don't really think about your day. Just try to focus on your breath. It kind of gets you in a good state. After that, do a brain dump. Write down, well, first off, take the next minute and write down all the things that you're thankful for. Now, I know, gratitude journal, self-help, BS, but this really does help in the sense of we always think about the bad in our lives, and especially this time of year, we think about all the stress that we're going through, but we don't tend to think about all the good things in our life, what we're blessed with, this time of year for me especially, I'm one of those people. I don't sit down and express gratitude or put what I'm thankful for as much, because I always try to look at what I don't have to keep me motivated moving forward. Healthy, right? I'm just saying, using myself as an example, but really good to just take a minute and think about all the things you're thankful for, especially around the holidays, because we don't do that. We just think of all the shortcomings. How are we going to pay for these presents? Or we're paying way too much for presents, or how are we going to get there? Or, are people going to wear masks? They're not going to wear masks. They expect you to wear masks. There's so much right now to think about. And so really think about what you're thankful for. And you should at least have 10 things down, God forbid. After that, then you're going to brain dump. You're going to write down, you're going to take, another minute and just write down everything that's just stressing you out. The reason being I say a minute is because if you go any longer, you'll just start finding things to stress out about. You'll start looking around the house. You'll start, you'll think about your spouse or your partner or your parents or your kids and just find ways to just, crap on them just to find stress. So take a minute to figure out what you're thankful for, and then take a minute to write down all the things that are stressing you out. And then what I want you to do is I want you to look at those things. After you write them down, just look at those things. Many times in our life, we over embellish the things in our head. We catastrophize things, and we make things way bigger of a deal than they actually are. And I put myself in this category too. And many times you really look like, if you think about all the stresses I just said. You have to buy presents. You have to run to the store. You have to cook a turkey or a ham. You have to bake cookies. You have to run here. You have to run there. You need to pick up your parents. You need to commute. You got to worry about if you're going to get sick or not. Like, all those things really aren't that bad. Really, for some people, again, it depends on how you look at it. For some people, that's a gift. Knowing that you have the funds to buy things for other people, that's a blessing, because some people don't. Now, if you're out there and you don't have the funding and you have to buy things for people, then it's really looking at your skills and how you can contribute to them. And again, you look at blessings that way too. If you got to cook a meal, you're around fit. Like, I am super excited that my dad and I are cooking dinner this year for Christmas. And we're going to stand there, We're going to have a few beers, and we are going to enjoy cooking together. And I'm going to enjoy my mom stressing out over the littlest things and helping her through that, and, enjoying those times together. And I mean, we have over an hour commute, but I'm going to enjoy that time with my wife and my son. Again, I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. I'm just saying it's very easy for us to get a little bit too enamored by all these things going on that we tend to not be thankful. So anyhow, do that brain dump. So take 3 minutes, breathe. Take 1 minute, write down all the things you're thankful for, look at it, then take the next minute to look at it, and then take another minute to brain dump all the things that are stressing you out, and then look at that. And you'll be very surprised at what little there is to do. Because in our mind, we have a million things to do, and then when you write it down, it's really only 5 to 10 things, and that's really not that much. So, number two tip for a stress-free holiday, brain dump. This will take you 5 minutes. Again, if you don't have 5 minutes, you're full of crap, okay? You could do this. You could easily, if you put these things together, go be active somewhere, and right before you do your activity, you write down all those things, you do a brain dump. And then when you go into the activity, your mind is not fluttering around with all this crap that you're creating in it. So, all right. Tip number 3, find a friend, okay? Find what's the word they used to use? A travel buddy. Find a travel buddy, okay? So, what I mean here, it's good to find someone in your life, and your partner does not count because they are emotionally attached to you. Now, you could argue that friends do as well, but friends are a little different. So find someone who's positive too. Don't go to that friend who's always negative Nancy, negative Ned, who is always complaining about things and literally blowing a volcano every time something happens, because that's just going to make you feel more stressed. Find someone in your life who, when you think about them, they make you smile. They're always there for you. They're very supportive. And just reach out to that person and say, hey, do you want to be, let's support each other over the holidays. Let's be there for one another in case something happens, of someone that we can talk to. Because here's what happens. If you decide to pick your partner, then you just become, then that partner just becomes either a pincushion or a punching bag. I know other instances where couples where the wife come home and she just is constantly complaining about her date or her husband because she trusts her husband. Well, that's great. However, what happens then is that's all you do is bicker and yell at your husband to relieve stress, and then they have to consume that because they are your partner. They are there for you. They are there to support you. However, if you do it to a friend realize, a friend, things kind of bounce off a little bit. A friend doesn't really soak in a lot of your stress. If anything, they just will think about theirs. But again, if you have that connection to where you can vent a little bit, they can vent a little bit, and then you let it go, and then you have fun together. Find someone, make them your active buddy. Go for a walk with them. Go for a run with them. Go to the gym with them. Go grab a drink with them. Find ways that you can make this healthy. And then again, this is a supportive structure. You are not finding someone to just beat the living hell out of with your words, and you unleash all your stress, and then you walk away, then they have to hold on to all that. This is someone, again, a travel buddy, someone who you two are supporting each other and can help each other through this, that you're not emotionally attached to like your spouse. So there's my 3 tips. Tip number 1, stay active throughout the holidays. Tip number 2, do a daily brain dump. And then tip number 3, find and support person to help you through it, and you help them through it as well. So as you guys know, I always end the show with 3 takeaways. And although I just provide 3 tips, those are kind of takeaways. Takeaways really with this is, number 1, activity or a stress reliever is key. So finding your, as Dwayne Johnson puts it, and someone out there just laughed because they know my obsession with him sometimes. Activity is your anchor. Find something that's your anchor, something that you can relieve stress over, whether it's activity, whether it's even reading, something like that, listening to music, whatever you do that takes away stress. Make sure you do that and add a little activity in with it, because activity is going to help. Activity, exercise, whatever is going to really help you with that. So activity and stress reliever is king. Takeaway number 2, it's never as bad as it seems. Okay. And again, in your mind, this is the worst thing ever and no one understands what you're going through. I get it. But in reality, it's never as bad as it seems. And when you do that brain dump, you will realize that. But in all actuality, why I also say the brain dump is because it helps you to prepare. You need to prepare. Preparation is key. Poor preparation leads to poor performance. And so, whether it's a week out, a month out, a day out, planning and preparing for your day and your mind on paper is going to really help that day go a lot better. Okay. So number 2, it's never as bad as it seems. Prepare. Okay. And then takeaway number 3, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone, and don't take it out on people who are constantly around you, whether it's your kids, your spouse, your partner, even if your parents live with you, your siblings with you. Don't take it out on them, but don't do it alone. Be a supportive structure for someone else. Be a positive person for someone else, a positive support structure, and find someone who can be that for you as well. Because that's the thing. Especially, I work with moms all day. They always try to do things alone. They always, there's no point in why have someone else do it when they'll just do it wrong. You might as well just do it yourself. Sure, but that's the big reason of why you have a lot of the stress that you do. So learn to never do it alone. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into these 3 parts. Part number 1, again, 5 ways to stay active. Part number 2, 4 ways for stress-free eating. And part number 3, 3 tips for a stress-free holiday. The Healthy, Fit, and Pain-Free podcast is brought to you by Inner Strength Physio Fitness Athletics. We are a quote-unquote gym that provides a personal training experience. We have anything from in-house physical therapy to one-on-one personal training to small group personal training. We also offer education, mental health support, and nutritional counseling. Our west location is located at 203 Hershinger Road in Coraopolis / Robinson, PA, west side of Pittsburgh. We are also partnered up with K-Specific Nutrition. They are a locally owned, awesome business that helps you with your medical, your sports, and your Gen Pop dietetic needs, given by actual Bachelor Plus registered dietitians. Okay. We are also opening up our South location on January 3rd at 108 Commerce Boulevard in Lawrenceville, or not. Everyone always asks about Lawrenceville. It's not Lawrenceville. Excuse me, in Lawrence, PA. Okay, and that is in the South Hills between South Fayette and Upper St. Clair. If you'd like to learn more about our programs, what we do, you can visit us at innerstrengthpgh.com. That is INNER strengthpgh.com. You can also check me out if you want to learn a little bit more. Or excuse me, you can actually check out the Healthy Fit and Pain-Free Pittsburgh group on our Facebook page. Is where we put a ton of content on there to learn more. You can also visit us or email us at info@innerstrengthpgh.com if you want to learn more. For me, I'm Dr. Tyler. You can reach out to me at dr.Tyler_Bordick on all social media, where I put out a ton of free content. Guys, thank you so much for visiting and for this great year so far. I will see you in 2022. Till then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and Happy New Year. Love you all. Mwah, mwah.